It's always amazing when I have to record another video. I actually wanted to record outside, but it's been raining cats and dogs, and I just thought, okay, maybe it's better we do the video inside today, inside the house. And so I want to know, how are you doing? What's been going on with you? Have you been taking into consideration and practicing and observing everything that we've been discussing? Because I know that if you're not new here, the videos on this channel have been changing your life. Before we go on, I would like you to like and subscribe and share. If there's any part of this video that touches your life, please like, subscribe and share. So my friend is behind there. He's in the living room and he's playing games. His name is Ayo. Ayo.
Hello.
Okay, so by the way, Ayo is single, so if you like him, you can just ask me for his number, you know. Okay, so today we're going to talk about money, and I know that recently we've been dealing a lot with friendships and bad energy and dead weight and all that stuff, and I've been getting some interesting questions from you guys, but I would like to address a mail I got from someone who asked about investing, and he said, so he sent me a mail that said, okay, let's say in summary, he's asking, at what age should you invest? Now this is a very tricky question because so I asked a friend of mine, Sam Harvard. I'm sure you've heard of him, of Sam Harvard. I'm going to put the link to his YouTube channels in the description box so you can check him out later. I asked him that question. I said, Sam, what do you think? At what age do you think that somebody should start investing? And guess what he told me? He said, frankly, I feel like before you were born, you should have started investing. And I'm like, what? How do you mean? I feel like this is a question, a very tricky question. I feel like you should start investing when you have started knowing what spending is and what earning money is. Hold on, let me ask my friend Ayo that same question. Ayo, at what age should a human start investing?
As early as possible.
Like 10 years?
If possible, to have before.
Okay, all right. So Ayo says, oh, by the way, Ayo is he's an accountant. He's a money person, you know. So if you need any advice on investing or business and all that stuff, you can. I'll just leave a link to his Instagram page so that you can check him out, because he's a good financial advisor as well. So Ayo says as early as possible, and I totally think so too. As early as possible, you should start investing as early as possible. And I believe that this generation is very lucky because you get this kind of information. A lot of us growing up never had this sort of orientation or information, you know. So you should begin investing as early as possible. Today I would like to give you a few tips, because I know that a lot of young people are, even if you want to start investing, where do you start from? And that's one question to ask also. That is one question that I found myself asking when I wanted to start investing. As a matter of fact, I remember some time ago, some years ago or so, I posted on my Facebook and I said I need advice on the kind of books to read as a beginner, you know, as a beginner investor, because I mean, you have so many types of investing, so many platforms for investing. You have real estate, you have Ponzi schemes, you have the Bitcoin and the cryptos and the everything, you know. So where do I really start from? You even have Ethereum, you know. I heard of that one recently, some months ago, and so I'm like, where do I begin? You know, that was back then. I was like, where do I begin? Where do I start from? How does a beginner, a young beginner like me, know what exactly to go into? How can I manage my risks? Do I have to pay somebody to assess these things for me? So I just came up with a few tips, because I know that these are questions that a lot of you are asking. A lot of you young people, a lot of us young people that are making money or coming into some money, we're asking these questions, and I really want to just give you a few tips that will guide you. They are not exhaustive, but I believe that these few tips will guide you when it comes to how to decide, how to make that decision. How do I invest? Where do I start from? So the first tip I have here is that everybody needs to invest. And what I mean by that is, no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, you need to invest. As long as you have started understanding what money is and what earning is and what spending is, you need to invest. No matter how much you earn, it would be wise to put away like 30% of that amount of money, to at least save it somewhere and plan to invest it. Now I know a lot of people are saying, oh L'akesh, like my 100% is not even enough for me. Why would I now put away 30%? And that's the same thing that happens with people who pay tithe, Christians especially who pay tithe. They're like, oh, how do I take this 10% off my salary? Because I mean, oh gosh, it is so much, but I want to ask you this question. What will happen if you lose everything? Let's say you lose your job, God forbid, or something. Would you become homeless in like a few months just because you lost your job? Because I mean, a lot of us are just spending and spending and spending without even thinking about the fact that we need to invest. We need to save some. Even if let's pause a little and even talk about just saving. You need to be saving something. You don't just keep spending and spending. I used to have this acquaintance who would spend a lot of money, and every time I tried to tell her, why don't you put some money aside and invest and stuff, guess what she always tells me? She's always like, oh, don't worry, more money will come. And I'm like, where is it coming from? You don't even know where that money is coming from. So this one that's in your face right now, why don't you just split it and save some? Now that's the point one. Everybody needs to invest. As long as you are beginning to be aware of yourself and aware of spending money and earning money, you need to invest. And if you cannot invest, at least start to save. Start saving, no matter how little it is, even if it's 2 naira or 20 naira or 2,000 naira, just start saving. Now the second point I have for you is, if what you have is not enough, save it. I said it in the first point, right? So if what you have is not enough, save it. Set aside at least 30%. And now I'm going to give you about 3 options. 3 ways that you can save your money. Now the first option I wrote down is to create sub accounts. Now my friend Sam Harvard actually told me about this. He explained to me how you can have like maybe 3 sub accounts in the bank. It's for free, like you don't have to pay for it. You just go to the bank, tell them to create sub accounts for you, name one, add investments or investing to one of the accounts. Now you can create a standing order that every time you get an amount of money, this percent, 30% goes to this account, 30% goes to this account, and 30% or whatever percentage goes to this account. Now you can create that standing order and then tell them that this is what you want to do and that you don't want to withdraw from the investment account until your money hits maybe 1 million naira or 2 million naira, whenever that will be. That will really help you to save the money, because you have created the standing order that you don't want to touch this money till it hits a particular amount. And I know that a lot of young people do not know this. You're struggling with saving and you don't know that there are ways that you can save your money efficiently in the bank. So that's one option. Create sub accounts and let there be a standing order, especially with the investment account. Now the second option for you to set aside your money is to buy gold with the significant amount that comes your way. Let's say, for example, the least amount, let's say maybe you have like 150k or something. Buy gold. Don't just go buy luxury gold. Do you understand what I'm saying? Buy, if possible, buy unrefined gold. Okay, buy gold and keep. Gold is something that always appreciates. It appreciates a lot. So buy gold and keep it. The third option is to buy US dollars. Okay, of course we know that the Nigerian economy is most of the time it dwindles more than it even appreciates. It gets weaker a lot of times. And even if you buy the dollar and the Nigerian economy gets better and it appreciates, you can of course spend that money in a country where the dollar is still stronger. But I believe that Okay, let me just tell you a short story. Before this whole corona thing, I think January or February, before it hit Nigeria, a friend of mine told me, he called me and told me, look, make sure you buy dollars, because what's about to hit us is going to be so massive. Like, we're going to lose a lot. The economy is going to go down, like seriously dwindle. And I was like, okay. So I had to figure out a way to buy dollars. I told my friends, and I was like, look, we need to buy dollars and keep, and all that stuff. And so if you had that if you were forewarned, if you had that foresight, yeah, thank you, Ayo. If you had that foresight and you bought dollars, and then the naira goes as low as maybe 450 to $1, of course you're talking, if depending on how much dollars you bought, you're talking about a lot of money. If you bought like $1,000 for maybe 350 or something, and it moves to 450 for $1, I mean, you're talking money, right? So buy dollars, buy US dollars. The dollar is like the base currency for the world nowadays, and so it will be really wise for you to buy dollars. It's either you buy the dollar and keep, or you buy the dollar and put it in a dorm account, and that's a domiciliary account or something. Now that's point 2. Point 3 I wrote down here is, do not invest in anything you do not understand. It doesn't matter, I don't care if the person is your friend or your best friend or whatever. Don't invest in something you don't understand. And do you know why I'm saying this? I have a friend who is into some kind of business. I won't tell you what it is. And she was trying to convince me to invest in this particular business. And then I kept asking her questions. And I realized that even she does not understand this business, but she expected me to invest in it just because she's my friend and she's doing this business too. Don't do that. Don't be emotional about these things, okay? Strive to understand something. If you do not understand it, don't invest in it. I don't care how nice it is. Of course, we all know all these schemes and businesses that came up, and they say, okay, bring your money, and in 3 months you get this other amount of money, you get double the amount and everything. And a lot of people invested, and some of them got away with it. A lot of people made so much money from it, but a lot of people also got frustrated because they lost a lot of money. Trust me, I'm one of those people that has lost a whole lot of money because I trusted something and invested in it, even though I did not understand it. Now, don't invest in anything you don't understand. And number 4 is like a part B of number 3, I think. And I wrote here, high returns is equal to a high risk of loss. Now, especially long-term investments, but also short-term investments, if you are promised high returns, then there is also a high risk of loss. Yeah, I know we all understand what I'm trying to say. So you should have that in mind. Don't just invest. And number 5, the 5th point I wrote here, as a result of number 4, is don't invest any amount of money that you cannot afford to lose. I remember when we did, was it MMM or so? They said you should invest spare money, and a lot of people were like, look, there's no spare money anywhere. Money is money, okay? I have to spend it and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, don't invest any amount of money you cannot afford to lose. You cannot jump into the river with 2 legs without testing the depth. You can't, or let me just say it this way, you cannot test the depth of a river with 2 legs. You have to use 1 leg, or at least a stick or something. So don't just throw all your money into an investment. Don't invest any amount of money that you cannot afford to lose. Now, I don't mean to make this video a long one. I hope that this has helped you. I'm gonna just do a recap. Firstly, I said everybody needs to invest. As long as you're getting aware of money, you're earning money, and you're coming into the awareness of yourself at whatever age, whether you're 12, 13, 15, 16, 20, whatever age. That's the first point. Second point is, if what you have is not enough for any kind of investment, set aside at least 30% of your income or whatever you get. And I said that there are ways that you can save your money. First is to create a sub account with a standing order with the bank. Secondly, you can buy unrefined gold with substantial amounts and keep. Thirdly, you can also buy US dollars and keep. Hopefully the economy would favor you. And the third point is don't invest in anything you do not understand. Fourth point, I said that high returns equals high risk of loss. So have that in mind when you're investing. And the final point is don't invest any amount of money that you cannot afford to lose. Don't test the depth of the water with two legs. At least use a stick. So I trust and believe that these my few points have helped you. I would like to know which points exactly has touched you so far. You can drop them in the comment section. Please like, please subscribe, and I would really love you to share this video with other young people. Even if you're the kind of person who has already become aware and probably you're investing and it's going well for you. I know that there are people in your family, or in your clique, or among your friends or relatives that are having this question, subliminally they're asking themselves this question, and it will be a lot of help if you share this video with them. So I want you to share this video with somebody or a few people, at least 5 people that need this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and please hit the notification bell so that every time I post something new you would get wind of it. Alright, so till I come your way next time, love you forever. Bye. Ayo, please say bye to my people.
Bye.